Hello and welcome to a special edition of Straight Talk live from the Inglis Premier Yearling Sale here in Melbourne. Hello and welcome to a special edition of Straight Talk live from the Inglis Premier Yearling Sale here in Melbourne. Inglis and Sebastian Hutch, which will play in a minute, Tim. But of course, Inglis and Darley have a fair bit of confidence. The weather's a little bit unpredictable, but the market in a minute, Tim. But as unpredictable as the market, it does seem a fair bit of confidence. The weather's a little bit unpredictable, but the market,
the most certain thing,
as unpredictable as the market can be, they'd be pretty confident.
Is high, Brent. The most certain tail people like you and I, the most certain about at the moment is UV reading is high. Tail people like you and I, the race to afternoon. But look, there's plenty of people around all Friday afternoon. Pretty positive signs spotted the race through Flemington. People that Victorian trainers, but pretty positive signs. Hong Kong sort of affiliated agents and people obviously Victorian trainers, but trainers and things like that. Hong Kong sort of affiliated agents and owners and not owners, but
yeah, and to this sale, Sebastian mentioned so far. Spoke to him, but this sale did well last year and probably defied. Yeah, and to this sale, set the scene for Sebastian mentioned strong. Spoke to him, but this sale did well last year and probably defied. No reason to see why that sort of strong had strong Victorian buying combined with that international demand. No reason to see why that fairly strong Victorian buying combined with Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
And there's obviously the Victorian breeders bring a lot of nice horses in Yulong, certainly in numbers. Yeah, and there's obviously Victorian breeders bring a lot of their horses in Yulong, certainly in numbers, and their clearance quality probably right up there for leads and vendors last year. Their clearance sales company wanted. Mr. Zhang wasn't what some of the buyers values on his horse and whatever he sees sales company wanted. This year, Mr. Zhang certainly probably values on his horse, hoping to get closer to the, lift their clearance rate at Yulong. That'll be an interesting sort of sign you get early in the day. Lift their Sunday. Their clearance rate at Yulong, that'll be an interesting sort of sign you get early in the day. Get their clearance rate on Sunday.
And as I said before, we spoke to Sebastian Hutch, Bloodstock CEO, about his expectations of the sale, as well as what he's looking for. We spoke to Sebastian Hutch, Bloodstock CEO, about his expectations of the sale, as well as what he's looking for when he's walking around looking at interesting to see.
Just with Sebastian Hutch, just doing his final inspection, sort of.
That's his job. It is quite interesting to see point of view that he's very much still the man.
Sale,
conducting the
being very confident leading into the sale, sort of last month or so.
He needs to see and understand what he's looking like and what to expect and everything else. And I guess that's one aspect of this game. It's always part of it, whether it be, what do we talk about?
We felt we had a really good sale last year, and that sale gave us good momentum in the spring.
They are still very much hands-on and looking at these horses, aren't they?
Well, that's what
that momentum
interested in it.
Helped us feel like we were getting better horses.
Formative years through the Bloodstock teams and other pursuits within the industry. It is the horse. And as much, I was talking to someone last night at dinner about.
Helped us feel like we were getting better horses.
Like that.
And if you ask me, do I feel like cattle is better today than what it was 12 months ago? I would say yes.
Opinion,
I mean, we're not
sort of knowledge that can't be
hard to say, but I've
seen it as a spreadsheet.
On the sale.
I think sort of flows through it.
The only thing I would be inclined to say is be very reluctant to take guard against complacency
sales
or over optimism in the market, because
head office there,
while the sales this year have gone down, it's been good. It hasn't been
what sells, maybe what's
people had to work hard to get horses sold.
Sort of all guns blazing right afternoon to get through the
value range of the market. People have an abundance of choice.
People that haven't been out to the sale before, we urge you to come out.
Thank you.
Melbourne, Sydney, if you're out there, or
interesting, on the back of last year's successful Premier Sale, there's a few different vendors here that either haven't been here possibly before, certainly for a decade or so, including your old employer, Coolmore. I think it's 12 or 13 years possibly since I last had a draft in Melbourne.
It's a really key part of the strength of the game, isn't it?
Those sale last year was up year on year.
Those relationships
various other metrics
through these types of conversations that you're having might be.
Like a lot of these entities have been represented in sales through other vendors.
For sure, and people have had success
over the years, but just
through
I think it was a good compliment to say that we've had a number of them on the same year, same kind of target. Come back and draft
a reason to that, but you keep going back to other people
for a few years. Newgate have
variables to getting a good racehorse and
plenty of quality through it. Arrowfield represented through. Glenley, New Haven, a good draft, Widden, Melbourne,
Junction for now. We'll be back on Monday night to do a review of all these things. The first days to sale.
Bodies are good representations of local vendors, and hopefully lends itself to
talk to you again
better
on Monday night
for everybody involved, and a catalogue that makes good appeal to buying bench.
How do you assess, or what feeling are you getting from Victorian trainers' willingness to support their local sale? They are traditionally fairly parochial, as obviously active at other sales, but they do like to support their local product.
I think people just want to buy a nice horse. I feel like we have plenty of nice horses here, and hopefully that means that We see good engagement from Victorian trainers, agents, syndicators. We don't take anything for granted. We're trying to have a broad cross-section of buyers as we possibly can for the sale. But like, there's no disputing the fact the local buying bench is really important. And certainly on the evidence of footfall, there's good representation from the trainers here.
Sebastian, just interested from my perspective, we're walking around with you now. I mean, what do you look at? How do you compare what you're looking at and the horses you're looking at now compared to what a potential buyer or whatever else to look at? Well, what are you looking for when you're looking at expecting these horses?
Oh, we want to sell every horse in the catalogue.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to sell a horse you haven't seen.
Yeah.
So we want to try and consolidate. Like, our Bloodstock team tries to do as many horses as they can. We have a role to play and we feel like we have a role to play in helping vendors sell their horses. So we're trying to consolidate information that, if we get consulted by a buyer or consulted by an interest party, that we have an opinion to volunteer based on our inspection of the horses. It's also a good educational exercise to see how you appraise horses in the spring and how they present at the sale. It helps when you go back the following year. So once more, please, Mia. So it's a bunch of different reasons. But ultimately, it's to try and help facilitate a better sale.
You've got people here to do that for you. How important is it for you to keep to sort of keep your hands on the tools and keep the skills sharp as well?
My job is what I enjoy. The whole reason I work here is because I enjoy horses, right? I enjoy the market. So I felt if I didn't have the opportunity to engage in this, the job would make significantly less fulfilled.
Yeah. And so what are we looking for out of the week? I mean, there's obviously key markers. Things have been positive elsewhere up until now. I mean, what are you looking for in terms of growth for the sale?
I'm very reluctant to put numbers on it. I mean, at the moment, we've far fewer withdrawals than we did 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And with the supplementaries, I mean, I haven't done the maths of it yet. I'll do it on Sunday morning or Saturday night, but we're going to be offering significantly more horses. What number, sorry?
Well, I thought
we're going to be offering more horses than we did 12 months ago. But really we want to post an increase gross and a better clearance rate. I mean, where that was going to leave us in terms of average and median, I don't know. I mean, you'd like to improve those, but certainly we want to feel like we've put more money into the market or facilitated more money coming into the market and facilitated more horses getting sold. I mean, they're the two big ticks. I mean, it's the same thing for every sale, but at a sale like this where you feel like you've got better horses to sell, you go there with a slightly more optimistic perspective on it, feeling that you have the kit to work with.
Well, the best of it, Sebastian. Thanks for your time. Yeah, so it was interesting to see sort of Sebastian in action there. I mean, he hasn't lost that. He's the Lux looking at horses. That's his job is. But it is kind of interesting from a CEO point of view that he's very much still the man, conducting the orchestra and making sure everybody's, he's getting to see what he needs to see and understand what the horses are looking like and what to expect and everything else. And I guess that's one aspect of this game which is always part of it. Whether it be, whether we talk to Barry about it, millions of Andrew Seabrook at NZ. And Sebastian Hutch here at Inglis, they are still very much hands-on and looking at these horses, aren't they?
Well, that's why you're interested in it. That's where they do their, formative years through the Bloodstock teams and other pursuits within the industry. It is the horse. And as much I was talking to someone last night at dinner about, the use of AI and things like that, it's still the value of opinion or, opinion and sort of knowledge that can't be seen in a spreadsheet. I think sort of flows through on the sales ground, and Sebastian, and all the Bloodstock guys at sales companies. It's important that they not just in head office, they're out and about looking at horses and getting a guide of what people are interested in and what sells, maybe what's off the boil, things like that. It's sort of all guns blazing Friday afternoon to get through the horses.
Yeah, and I think that is the aspect of it. People that haven't been out to a sale before, we urge you to come out and have a look. If you're in Melbourne or go out in Sydney, if you're out there, or even your local sale, because it is quite an extraordinary environment. Because it's at the moment, we're looking across now, and Sebastian's having a good conversation with a potential buyer or a trainer or whatever else, and you have those conversations as you go through. I think that it's that connection that's developed in these inspection days. It's a really key part of the strength of the game, isn't it, Tim? Those relationships that are built through these types of conversations that you're having might be short 2 to 3 second conversations or longer, 5 to 10 minute conversations.
Oh, for sure. And people that have had success, whether that's through a stallion or a vendor or a breeder, things like that, you tend to come back, whether there's any rhyme or reason to that, but you keep going back because that's where you've had success before, because there's so many variables to getting a good racehorse, and there's no right or wrong in choosing that.
Well, that's a wrap here from Inglis. It's Open Junction for now. We'll be back on Monday night to do a review of the sale, or at least the first few days of the sale. And keep an eye on thestraight.com.au for your latest. Thanks to Darley and Inglis, our fabulous sponsors. And we'll talk to you again on Monday night.